Okay, right. Today is that char array. So this type of char array. So whenever you're using this function, this method actually. So in this char array, so it is very useful useful as actually here. Just you have to type it and what is that and program. So in that program actually in yesterday we have to given that one moment. Yes, here just you have to use this one an yesterday program. So this is the written on that arrays. Okay, so here, yes, so here just you have to use string s1. No, sorry, so already we have to provide the strings and just output system dot out dot println. So here just you have to use that what is that s2. Just you have to call that s2 to char array method. So here you have to use this char array whenever using this type of char array. Actually, this array, this is a array or string. This is array. So this is only string. This is not a array. But here, whenever using this method, this char array method, it is using like a array. So in that way, it can be printed. Whenever using that char array, it can be stored into println. It can be stored into println. In this actually, so in the same program, you have to use in uh, uh, what is that?
Eclipse.
Yeah, in that Eclipse, just you have to use this. In this case, Eclipse only, just you have to use this one. See here. Here, what type of output you give? So this type of output it can be providing that S1. So here you are not observing. So that array it can be providing. Yeah, so how to it can be providing that array that functionality you cannot be seeing. So here in that way you have to use in some of other ways also is there. So that is the debugging mode. So whenever using that debugging mode, so how it can be considered that how it can be giving this type of string. So inside of that functionality, so just you have to recognize for the seeing of debugging. So inside of the debugging also you have to observe. Just I have to share it that debugging. So whenever you get that debugging screen, then it can be given a. So for example, see, just you have to observe here whenever you seeing the debugging. So how to that debug way in the sense, just you have to use that char, what you call in the square brackets, what you call in that
Array.
one? Array. That is the array memory. that is array memory. Okay, so this is the one day what is that how to write that debugging way. So debugging way, just you have to use in this char, just you have to use the data type is the char, and just you have to provide that array, and this is the variable. Just you have to observe that one s2, then automatically the data it can be converted. For example, here you have to calling that some hello of the world. Just in practice this eclipse, just you have to observe then how it can be getting that output. So that is the very most important actually. So here just you have to type it this one. Just you have to provide that variable, a variable, and s2. Just you have to call that s2 dot char array to char array. So this is the method wise you have to using that. um, it can be stored into array, but here this is the um, debugging way. So how to convert this debugging way, in the sense that here just you have to compile this program. It is not showing. So why? Because here the sum of the text in s2 text is that it can be stored into array, but that process it cannot be showing. That process it cannot be showing. So in that array memory is the empty. That memory it can be allotted for s2 only. So that character it can be stored into s2 memory. So in that way actually it is not moving. See here, that message it can be given the converted the strings to a new character array. It is showing that that eclipse it can be given a hint. So in that processing purpose, just you have to compile. Whenever you're compiling the text, whenever you're compiling the text content, it can be it can be stored into like a debugging way. So here you have to, and previous you have to using in this way only. So this method wise, whenever you're using this method wise, that that s2 or that s1, so on that time it can be see here. Yeah, so it is providing that. So that string actually it can be acting like a character. It can be acting like a character. So the type of character, how it can be processing on in backside of that string, in the sense. So in this way it can be already, and previous I have to share in that. So in this way actually, whenever you're calling that objective way, or that array it can be stored in that particular string. In the backside that string it can be going to, for example, edge q. So whenever you're calling that s2, that edge q it can be divided into in this way. Yeah, e d z e q. So in this way it can be divided in this in that string way, sorry, array way. So whenever you stored in array way that string, so it can be divided in this type of characters. It can be stored in that string. Okay, so in that string actually that memory it can be started up to which number? That arrays it can be stored into memory. So that memory it can be starting the first initial. For example, you have to allocate and six size of that array.
Sir,
Six,
okay.
it can be started up to
02.
exactly 0 to 6, exactly 0 to 6. That in this here also that string whenever you converted that it can be array. So then also it can be taken up to 0 to 6. Here you are not providing that array size, but here that you have to providing that empty size for A. So that A array, it can be calling that S2, though how much of memory it can be allotted that edge queue, so that much of memory it can be stored in that particular array. Okay, so that purpose you have to using that to char array. It is clear?
Sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yes, exactly. And that is the use of, and another one also is there, that is the one moment. So here, so another one is that index of, that is a index of. Actually, the number of things you have to allocate that index of actually. So that index of usage, it is a see here. Here just you have to call that system dot out dot println. Here just you have to call that s1 dot index of. Can you observe that each and every time you have to using that method, the starting letter is the capital letter or small letter?
Cap, sir.
Limited, sir.
Small letter only. You have to using in that method, you have to use only
In that
small.
method, small letters.
Yes, in starting letter is the small letter. In between that word, it can be taken in. If you want to using that index of, index is the first letter is the small letter,
Small letter.
and the mid in the middle of that another word, if it is added in that particular method, then that capital letter, then first letter is the capital letter. Okay. One moment, just you have to programming wise, just you have to observe this eclipse. Here is that eclipse. Cannot. This one eclipse. Yes. System.print.ln. Just you have to remove this one, and here just you have to use only index of. Okay, and here just you have to call that. So different type, different type of letters, by the searching of that letter in that S1 string. So how it can be given that place of that, what type, which number it can be stored in the which memory. So that can be, you have to identify. And here, for example, just you have to search in search in S1 only, S1 string. Just you have to searching that wo. Just you want that wo place, if it is O is there or not. See here, just you have to compile this program.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Actually, O 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here it is there. But in that memory, you have to checking in that memory only. So H, it can be replaced in which memory it can be allocated. So computer memory, each and every time. So if you want to using that method, if you want to using any array and whatever it may be, you have to using in that memory. So in that memory purpose, whenever you searching that memory or by the using of that character or word or anything, so it can be searching by the starting of zero value. Whenever you're thinking about that memory, so that memory in your entire the computer memory, it can be started zero up to zero. In that's why the here h is 0 1 2 3 4. So the o place is the 4. Okay, and here if you want to repeated that O actually in this line, and sometime here also and another O is there and second O, but here each and every time whenever you call that O character or that character, it can be repeatedly using in that particular string. So the first character only it can be given. Okay, only first character only it can be given the place of that address, it can be identified. And if you want to that second address, so then you have to use that second address. For example, here is not only 0, by the calling of word also it can be given. For example, what is
Two.
that what is that GUIS, just you have to compile this one. Yes, GUIS is also is there. So it can be considered GUIS is a one address. It can be considered as a one address. See here 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and and space also it can be considered as a uh, one character. Okay, and here the space also 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, and here it is not a one character, it is a one word actually. It is a one word. So in that one word it can be considered as a one one letter. Say yes or no?
Sir.
Yes, one letter actually. So that space it can be giving that 6. For example, here what you have to searching that character, it is not placed in that string. So for example, here Z is there, and which one is not available in this line?
Capital Z.
Capital Z. Okay, just you have to observe this. So if this letter it is not identified in that string, but you are searching by that word, that character only, so on that time minus value it can be providing. See here, minus
Okay, sir.
value. Okay, if it is not identified, so what you have to using that character. So that character it is not available on that string only, so on that time it can be providing that minus value. Okay.
Sir.
Yes, okay. So and here for example, a number also, just you have to by the using of that number, for example 3, just you have to observe that one. So 3 is also is not identified. Yes.
Sir.
Yes, exactly. So that identification purpose you have to using that index of. Okay, if you identified in last index, if you identified that last index, in the sense it is repeatedly you have to using you have to searching by the using of that row, then it can be given the given in the fourth place, and second row also is there. Yes, taken second row also is there. So on the time you have to use last index. Last
For what,
index.
for what, sir? Last index?
Last index in the sense, for example, here whenever you're searching on that using of that row, it can be identified in 2 times, but it can be given that first place and first character, it can be identified that address only it can be providing. If you want to in last position also is there, in
Sir.
that last position, in the sense that is the second one. So on the time also you have to search by last index of. Okay, whenever you compiling this, so just you have to identify what it is.
Capital I.
Yeah, very good. Exactly. So capital I. So in the first in that method, you have to using the first letter is the small letter, and whenever it is that second word, whenever it can connected to that method, then that first letter is the capital letter. Okay.
Capital.
Yes,
Sir.
exactly. Then you have to execute. Then it can be given 33. Last O it can be identified 33. Okay. In
Okay,
this,
sir.
yes, in this way, you have to use in different characters or different words. So that address and which array size it can be allotted that particular address. So in that much of identification purpose, you have to use that. So what is that methods?
Index
Index,
of
index
oh,
of, and
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 last index
yes,
of.
last index of. And one more thing, one more method is also is available. That method is that substring. Okay, that method is that substring. Here just you have to use that substring method. Substring method. So here uh, by the using of that character, don't call that by the using of that character, just you have to use that. For example, in second array, so what type of character is stored in that particular second array, just you have to compile that one. Yeah, up to second place it can be started that string. See here, for example, I don't want an previous characters. I want skipping that word. For example, here 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and 6, 7, 8. We have to hide that 8. It can be started that word. It can be started that word up to entire that string. It up to started that 8 place only, or 8 location only. It can be started that string. Just you have to observe that one. Yes, why? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The eighth place it can be started that array. Okay, so for the what time you have to using in that type of way, in the sense actually in some of the programs, and some strings or some characters also. For example, and today onwards I have to release the one notification, government notification. So and that notification, and today is the last date actually. Okay, so on the time actually I have to hide the some notification, some notifications, and some of the notifications it can be appear on that screen. On the time I have to using this substrings, I have to categorize this one is the substring and this is the main string. But that substring only it can be appear on the screen, and entire the main string you have to collect it, and some of the characters or some of the things only you have to display on that screen, on that website screen. It is clear?
Sir.
Yes, on the time you have to use this substrings. Okay, so here you have to using in some of the text only, and the entire the one program or entire the one notice also it's available by the using of that string, and government notifications, and some of the what is that alerts also it can be available. For example, just you have to thinking about like that Amazon. So Amazon it can be given that some notifications. So what is that notifications? Offers, offer notifications. It can be given, and one thing it can be given in different type of way. What is that offers? It can be appear on that screens actually, and some of the offers it can be displayed, and some of the offers it can be hide in particular. They have to be using in particular times. It can be added time, in the time only it can be appear on that screen, that notification. So after just you have to use that skip operator or while operator, then it can be disappear and hiding. So in this text only it can be started, and this much of place only. So on the time also it can be divided into using of that substring methods. It is clear?
Sir.
Yes, in real time, it is very useful to us. You cannot clear that much of content. If you clear that content, and whenever it is useful on that time, whenever you some of the persons is getting that voice, just you mute. Yes. And actually this type of usage is the very most important actually. And for example, you have to develop that one project. In that project, in that project actually, whenever you're showing on that from that manager or your superior, so you have to hide that some of the text contents that is not useful actually. But on the time, just you have to hide that content, some of contents. So on the time also you have to use that substrings. You have to enter that string, you have to categorize it is the substring. So that is only visualization purpose, you have to using that substrings only. So in that programs and in that packages, it cannot be removed or it cannot be deleted that string. Okay, that visualization purpose only you have to use. So whenever calling that substring 8, that memory it can be empty, or some of the space you have to delete it or not. Whenever you're calling by the using of that substring 8, that entire string and some of the contents it can be deleted or not. Tell me
No,
that.
sir.
No, exact. Deleted.
No, sir.
No,
Can't
it
be
is,
did.
yes, it is not deleted. Some of the text it can be hiding for the using of that string, substring. Yes or no?
Sir.
Yes, exactly. So actually, that memory it cannot be free. That memory it can be using that for that content only. But here you have to visualization purpose. You have to using that substring. Clear?
Sir.
Yes, for example, here and entire and only in starting string only you have to some of the text contents you have to hiding, and end of the things. For example, here I want edge queue only. I want to display this edge queue only. So here 8 in the sense y 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 17 and 18. For example, here 18, just give that comma, and here just you have to use 18 9 18 19 21 22 22 and 23. Here just you have to use the 23 typing HQ. Yes, that word it can be ending area also, you have to represented that substring in that substring. Yes, here you have to using for that using that string for that hello guys, this is HQ institution. But the for that visualization purpose, you have to using that substring in the entire string. You have to calling in as you using of that substring, you have to filtering or you have to some of the text you have to hide. Clear, guys?
Yes, sir.
Yes, clear. Yes. Any doubt in this substring?
No, sir.
Yes, exactly. You did not thinking about like this. This is a small character or a small thing only here. So and just you have to thinking about the entire one paragraph, entire one paragraph, or entire one page, or entire one notification, or entire some of the text contents is appear on that web pages. So on in that web pages or in that text contents or in that paragraphs only, what you have to given in some of the text contents only, it can be visualized on that web pages. On the time only you have to using that, by the using of that substring method, it can be filtering entire the string. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, exactly. And here and one more thing, that is the splitting split method. So here just you have to use that split split method, split method. And here this s1 S1 string is there. In that S1 string, you have to using hello guys, this is the education institution. Here, just you have to remove this. Just you have to use that within the double quotations. So here within the double quotations, whenever using this within the double quotations, just you have to entire this line, you have to split. So that split in the sense that is the pieces of small pieces. By the using of this split method, that entire line, it can be divided into in small pieces. Okay, so in that purpose you have to use, and by the using of this space, you are using this methods is a split method, then you have to execute. Yes, but here it is not providing, it is providing only hash value. Is it right? Hello?
Sir.
Yeah. So when you're executing by the using of this method, it can be providing that hash value. So in that way, this splitting this character, you have to store in array. So in that way, just you have to use, and here just you have to use that arrays dot to string. Okay, string and s1 only dot split. Yes, exactly. See here, here just you have to use system dot out dot println arrays arrays dot to string. Exactly.
Bracket into the first one.
Exactly. That's right. Very good. Yes. Now it's explode. See here, the entire line, it can be divided into with the using of commas. Yes. So how many words it can be there in that particular line? So the entire line, it can be split into the array only. So that string, it can be stored into array. So on the time only, that functionality, it can be displaying on this. And here, for example, you have to use that some symbols also. Here, with the using of that symbols, you have to mention in some of the different type of symbols. So on the time here, just you have to use that symbol, then you have to execute. On the time, that symbol also, it can be appear on that screen. See? Yes or no? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, but it is not splitting. Yes, it is not splitting. On the time, just to have